Hello and welcome to Board with Kids, where we check out different board games to play with your family. Today we are looking at Point Salad, a competitive game named after the board game mechanic that came out in 2019. The game plays for 2 to 6 players and is listed for players 14 and up. But don't worry, the main gameplay can be played with kids much younger than that, even 5 years old. This bright, simple game is about picking the best veggies and points cards from the marketplace to score the most points for the ingredients of their salad at the end of the game. In this competitive game, each turn players simply choose to add to their collection either veggie cards or a point card. At the end of the game, whomever has the highest point value in their salad wins. It sounds and actually plays fairly simply, but it's full of quick, meaningful decisions. Let's find out how to play. The size of the deck that you start with changes depending on the number of players and is listed in the rulebook. For our example, I have set up a 4-player game, which requires me to remove 6 cards of each veggie type without looking at the backs. Shuffle the cards and form 3 roughly equal draw piles with the point cards facing up. Flip over 2 cards from each draw pile and place them in a column below each pile. This creates the veggie marketplace, the shared game space. Randomly choose a first player and you're ready to play. On your turn, all you have to decide is whether you want to draw 1 point card or any 2 veggie cards in the marketplace. Take your chosen card or cards and place them in front of you. It may help to group the veggies together and have the points all laid out and visible to you. The only other possible action is an optional bonus action you can take after you've drawn your cards. Once per turn, you can choose to flip over any point card, either the one you drew this turn or any of your existing ones, and turn it to the veggie side. You cannot turn the veggie side back to the point side. Note that the corners of each point side indicate what veggie is on the other side. You can take this optional action once per turn. And you may want to do this because you no longer want to keep the points card, or if you really need the veggie on the other side for a set or a collection. Once you've picked and placed your cards and finished the optional flip action, if you chose to do so, you simply refill the veggie market by drawing cards from the draw pile on the top of the empty spaces to get the market back to 6 veggies and 3 point cards showing. If a draw pile ever runs out, simply split the next largest draw pile roughly in half and take the bottom half to fill the empty draw pile. Then play continues to the player on your left. The game ends when all cards from the marketplace, point and veggie cards, have been drawn. Then you move to scoring. Players look at their drawn cards and add the value of all of their point cards together to get their final score. It's easiest to score 1 point card at a time. When calculating how much a point card is worth, keep in mind each point card may have values that can be scored multiple times, and each veggie card can be scored towards different point cards. For example, in my finished tableau, here, my first point card gives me 8 points for each tomato, lettuce, and carrot set that I have. It would give me 16 points in this case since I have 2 full sets of those 3 veggies. And for my second points card, I would receive 10 points, 5 for each pair of carrots, and I have 5 carrots, even though I counted my carrots already towards the first point card. And that's it. Here's my overall thoughts on this game. A game that's easy to explain, fast to set up, has small, meaningful decisions every turn, and has my kids clamoring for veggies and doing math at the end. This is a no-brainer. I really like this game. And in fact, it's my go-to in the category of gateway games, even when playing with other adults. Gateway games are light to moderate complexity games that introduce different concepts from more complex board games and help act as a gateway from traditional board games like Monopoly or Clue to modern board games. I love that the icons on the point side are very self-explanatory and have a large variety, so many different ways to score points. I like that generally there's no wrong way to score points. You can strategize and get a lot more points, but basically anything you do will get you some points. And that's why the board game mechanic is called point salad. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, it all mixes for points. When playing with younger kids, you will need to help them walk through the points calculation at the end. But even this I enjoyed, as it was a really good way for kids to practice looking for sets and adding and subtracting. And it only takes about 15-20 minutes, which is what I would consider the sweet spot for family board games. My final verdict for this game is a 9 out of 10. It's a game that's good for all ages, it's relatively inexpensive, and there are no critical components that can't be lost or damaged, and there's smart, simple gameplay. Really, really strong recommendation to buy. And that's it for this episode of Bored with Kids. Remember, with all of these board games, there's no excuse to be bored with kids. Bye.